Ahoy listeners, and welcome back to the Yonko Podcast with me, Burke, Coon, and our crew, Alex and Brock. No new chapter this week, so we are doing our official One Piece arc tier list. To be clear, we will not be arguing that any of the lower ranked arcs don't deserve a part of the story. We just might dunk a bit on arcs each of us personally finds not as important or not as fun in the story. We all agree, though, that Oda doesn't have a truly irredeemable arc in his story. Our ranks range from God Usopp tier to Orochi tier. So let's jump in and see where our crew agrees, and where they don't. Let's set sail!
In that entire 100 plus bounty hunters or whatever, that was a full on just like, let's show you what this guy could do real quick. Sometimes he wouldn't even use a sword.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it was just like dodge, cut the floor beneath them, bye. You know, he was just toying with these guys. Yeah. And then, but it was a nice arc. I don't know. Something about it. It gave off a different vibe. It was okay. Here's what it was. You know, in the Grand Line, in the East Blue, you know, you still had the feeling of I'm in the East Blue.
Right.
But the first island they stop on in the Grand Line, the entire island is trying to kill him. Is fucking crosses decorating, the graves decorating the cactus peaks. And it's just like, that's an intense start to the Grand Line. What's going to happen from here on out?
True.
So, I don't know. It was an important arc to me because it really left an impression of what the beginning of the Grand Line would be and what could come. And like, he also showed up to the end where it's like, oh, we inadvertently got involved with a kingdom and a warlord of the sea. Okay, guess we'll do that.
Right.
But yeah, for me, it's Brook tier because it's just.
I'll put it in Buriti then, because we're both saying Caribou. You're saying Brook, so top of Buriti.
I could say.
So, I put it over Syrup, but below Reverse.
You want it in between those two?
I think it should be in between those.
I agree. Well, I see it as lower than both. You see it as lower than both. You see it as higher than both.
Yeah.
So we've got to put it smack dab in the middle.
I would say in the middle of those as our compromise on that.
So should go Reverse Mountain, Whiskey Peak, Syrup Village.
Yes.
All right, Little Garden.
Who wants to start on Little Garden?
I will, because I love the arc because of what eventually goes down, but by itself, I don't think it's overly strong. My favorite moment in it is Zoro being like, well, if I'm going to be a statue, this is how I want to be.
Did you see all the memes about that when they...
Yeah, when the golden statue was...
They unveiled his statue currently in Japan.
Yeah. Look, I love the Giants. Fighting for 40 years in my mind is just kind of... Come on, guys. Like, someone win. I didn't like Mr. 3. He's a piece of shit, but that's maybe a good thing. He made me feel something. I felt like he was a piece of shit.
He made me feel something.
You know, really cool Sanji moment where he answers the phone and does that whole thing. Yeah. That, you know, it's the fucking restaurant. What do you want? You know? What are you doing, messenger? Like, he's talking to Crocodile.
That is one of the best Sanji moments in my opinion. Absolutely.
It is. But outside of those few things that I mentioned, you know, it's just a big dick, like, did you get a bigger dinosaur than I did? Contest with Zoro and Sanji, which again, I love those, but at the same time, if that's the majority of the arc for me, I don't know. I feel like it's a weaker arc. I'll say Caribou tier.
Okay. If you'd asked me this back when I first got into One Piece, the thing I had remembered about Little Garden was I fell asleep during it, and I can't tell if it was just because I was tired or if I was actually bored. I'm blaming it on tired because this time watching through with my wife, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, it's not going to be a Roger tier or a Luffy tier for me, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Mr. 3, honestly, I don't hate him that much. The only person who I thought was bullshit was freaking Miss Golden Week. Thought that was some bullshit.
Oh yeah, the art shit. It didn't even really work.
I just thought it was some bullshit, but it was still funny. It led to some funny moments with Luffy, and I'm not gonna deduct points from it. The giant stuff was cool. Usopp and Luffy's connections with either of the giants that they were with at any given point was cool.
I love Dory and Broggy, I love Dory and Broggy. I just feel like they've been fighting for way too fucking long.
And as, Mr. Power Scaler over here, it's the beginning of, Zoro and Sanji trying to always one-up each other by going and trying to get the biggest dinosaur that
which
they can
makes
find.
me fight with my friends.
Which makes you fight with your friends. And you like it. You bring it on yourself.
I have to defend.
I am trying to divorce myself from the Sanji versus Zoro debate.
Divorce casts a long shadow.
Anyway.
You feel it for years.
So all of that to say is now where I stand, Little Garden is above Reverse Mountain for me, so I would either put it bottom Brook or top of Barriere.
Okay.
Personally.
I can say with full confidence it's an easy Caribou for me.
Interesting.
Because, well, here's the thing about Little Garden is...
I thought you liked it so much more.
No. Now, here's the thing. There isn't, and like we said, there isn't a single...
Again, none of these are bad arcs.
It's pretty cringe if you ask me, bro.
There isn't a single arc that I dislike.
That shit's islands.
But this is an arc that, unlike everything else, I never go back to. I never look for reactions to, because there's not a lot that emotionally stimulates me about this arc. There's no really sad moments. It's just, Broggy and Dory, some bad stuff happens there, but it's resolved pretty quickly.
Get like something out of, Mugiwara, how did you find me?
No, I mean... But
instinct.
Here's the thing. That's probably the single moment I do truly enjoy in that arc.
Little things that I like in this arc, but as a whole...
But, as a whole, it's really...
I'm actually very surprised by this.
It's an arc that I'm not a huge fan of comparatively, just because... I guess because they in it, there's only a few worthwhile things to remember, which is Dory and Broggy.
Yeah.
And Mr. 3, and that's only because he comes back and hangs out with Buddy.
Absolutely. But you don't know that, right?
You don't know that. So it's one of those where I just kind of like, when I watch it or rewatch it, I kind of meander my way through it, because it's just kind of like, it doesn't have a direction. And part of that is because they're waiting for the log to set, and I get that. But it just doesn't, like I said, doesn't emotionally stimulate me like other arcs do.
Sure. No, I feel
I get a couple laughs here. I get moments where, like, oh, that was a cool line, Luffy. The instinct one, that was a really cool line. And I see him just take that guy out.
Luffy getting bomb kicked was stupid.
I mean, that was pretty dumb.
But as an arc, it doesn't illuminate my memories as a lot of the other arcs did.
I don't know. The main antagonists outside of Mr. 3 were from Whiskey Peak. Like, didn't we already deal with these bitches?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There's...
Fair. Okay. Then since we have nothing there anyway,
Caribou
I can put that at the top of Caribou. I can put that below Sarah Village.
Cool. Drum Island.
Oh.
Can I start with a hot take?
Go right ahead.
I don't like Drum Island.
I mean, that's not that hot of a take.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
I think Kureha is a terrible mother.
Oh.
And I don't like the way she treats Chopper even at the end. Because, look, when all of the cooks were yelling at Sanji at the end, like, go away, you bastard, they're crying. Kureha cries after Chopper's gone, and it's like, no, you've just been a piece of shit to him his whole fucking life. Fuck you. I just don't like her. And I don't feel for her. And when we see her again in Reverie, I'm like, great, she's still alive. Awesome. So
Wow.
I told you this was a hot take.
You told me it was a hot take. I wasn't expecting a nuclear temperature
It is a nuclear fucking take. I do not like a main, supposedly good character in Drum Island. I'm sorry. Dr. Haralook, I feel for the man. He was an awesome father. He was a terrible fucking quack, but he was a good fucking father. Okay? And then she saw...
a good fucking father who shot at his son!
And then sacrificed himself. And she saw that relationship. She's like, you know what? I'm going to be that, but treat him like shit
I argue she would have done the same thing for him.
She sucks. No, I don't believe that. She's so proud of her fucking age. I'm only 40, you 150-year-old bitch.
I absolutely believe she would do the exact same thing for Chopper.
We can be very different on this. I know that this is a hot take. Now, there are parts of Drum that I like. I like the bull guy. What's his name?
Dalton.
Dalton. I like Dalton as a character. You know, I really like him versus Chopper, even though it's like two good people fighting. Like, that was kind of a cool
Okay,
thing.
let me ask you then. Just
I love Chopper.
No, of course.
If you don't, you're heartless.
If you don't, fuck you. If you don't,
the best part.
If you don't, my wife's not ever going to talk to you ever again.
The best part of this arc is him getting out of an abusive fucking island in relationship with Kureha. I'm sorry. It's just how I feel.
So real quick.
Waffle is also a part of this arc.
Just quick pick. Where are you putting this arc? Where are you putting this arc?
You're gonna hate me for it. This is my Orochi tier.
Really?
It's one of my Orochi tiers.
Holy shit!
Now,
dude.
mind you, I love all these arcs. But if I had to pick one to be in Orochi, this is where I'm gonna start.
Okay.
I hate Wapol. I fucking hate Wapol. Okay? I don't like one of the main protagonists.
Okay. Move on to Brock, because I have lots of stuff I gotta refute that shit
No,
with.
you definitely both can, but this is just my hot take.
That's fair. Let's go.
And I love the Cherry Blossom.
I really enjoyed...
Can I just not only shit on the arc, though? There are some good moments I want to
I mean, you made it sound like
you made it sound like
arc.
hot take. I don't like drum.
I have moments in Drum that I like. Like every single arc, they're all redeemable. But if I had to put one in Orochi, and I think you'll all find this when you have your Orochi take, that, you know, there's one that will probably be like, no.
I just feel like we're never going to actually end up using Orochi
because
we'll all compromise on where we end up putting things.
I love Hero Luke's sacrifice. I love Dalton's, you know, protection of Chopper, and I love the Chopper reindeer Santa Claus ending with the cherry blossoms. That's all fucking wonderful and beautiful. I love Luffy's speech.
Yeah.
I love he interrupts him. You know, the fucking slow arms in the air, hat comes off.
Shut up, let's go!
Exactly. Like, you're not a monster. Like, I love that they saved Nami, because fucking Little Garden fucked her up with some weird-ass old disease. Probably the only redeemable thing Kureha did, in my opinion, was saving Nami. Yeah, that's it. Go ahead, bro.
So, I really enjoy Drum Island. So, Drum Island was weird for me because there were a lot of moments that were really good. Like, a lot of moments. I would say most of the arc for me...
Name some of your favorites.
I will in just a second. But then there were some moments that were just kind of like casually just like walking along that took forever. Like, say... whenever Usopp and Vivi were in town, it felt like those scenes were just like needlessly drawn out sometimes, where they just kept dealing with villagers and stuff like that. You know, when they're talking to Dalton, that's fine, but sometimes it just felt like we remained on those scenes for too long. Anyways, but back to the great stuff. There isn't really a main character, besides Wapol, obviously, that I disliked. I would say, because they all had their different ways of approaching, they all had their different ways of coping. Chopper, it's obvious why everybody loves Chopper. He's innocent, he's sweet, you know, he wants to be the best actor. He speaks for himself. Chopper speaks for himself. Hero Luck, we trying to interrupt me, bro.
Sorry, can I add one thing? I like the bunnies.
Yeah, the snow Lappins are
That's all I want to say.
Okay. You know, I like Hero Luck. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't like Hero Luck, because we all agree you shouldn't be performing medicine, but goddamn it if I don't love your spirit, you know? You know, he's in fact, I'd say he's one of my favorite backstory father figure characters in a series, because he's just so fun. And like the fact that when he got up the mountain, the first thing out of his mouth was like, oh, nobody's sick, thank God. And it was like, Jesus. And I think all the doctors that were up there along with Dalton were thinking the same thing, Jesus, or maybe some other god, who knows. But anyway,
Nika.
Nika. M-sama. Anyways, but, you know, and then Dalton. Dalton, he was probably the most boring of the main characters for me, just because he was completely vanilla. Like, just to the max. Just like, he didn't really have any kind of, like, quirks to him. No. He was just completely a righteous soldier. Which, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. Sometimes you gotta have that character. And, like, you love his reactions to Hero Luck and how he stopped Chopper from getting himself killed. You know, those moments are what make Dalton...
He was a less charismatic Phoebus from, you know, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
There you go, yeah. And he didn't, like, hit on girls either.
Yeah.
But, And then now for Kureha. So
You know she's stronger than Zoro in that arc?
yeah.
She beats the shit out of him.
So is Nami whenever she's angry. She's stronger than Luffy and Zoro.
No, but like actually, Kureha outranks her in power level.
Fair
and
enough.
drum.
We don't know shit about her backstory. Anyways.
I'm just saying he was swimming and then she beat the shit out of him in the snow. He couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, when he's like shivering.
Sorry,
and
I'm just messing.
Stop with your power scaling.
Hey, you don't
BS.
like Kureha? Get on my side.
No.
It's Kureha.
I don't care.
You
I just
misogynist
don't.
pig. Anyways.
I'm an ageist, if anything.
Anyways.
Just
No,
not
a liar.
I really enjoyed her because...
Over 60.
Hey,
Sorry.
I'm talking.
I know, it actually is your moment. Sorry.
Jesus.
I really don't.
You got a grudge, bro.
I think I do.
My God.
I still can't believe this is Orochi. That's so
Me
funny
either.
to me.
That's funny to me. But I like Kureha because she is... she's just such a, like, that leathery skinned grandma who just cannot be honest. And sometimes I think that character, when used in the right way, is totally fun. And I really like how she is in this. Because here's the thing. I don't think her relationship with Chopper pre-getting him to leave was super abusive. I would argue, because here's the thing. We don't really see that. The only times we see her truly like get like super pissed at him and maybe abuse him is when he accidentally caused the death of Hiruluk. And God, you are mouthy right now.
I just haven't... never mind. You're refuting me. Go ahead.
And, and I think... Here's the, and I honestly do believe, and this is such a common thing in anime, is she's a tsundere. Like, that's how she shows her affection. When she doesn't want Chopper to see her cry. You kidding me? She's this leathery old bag. No one's seen her cry, and who knows how long she's not going to let her son see her cry. And, like, that's how she shows her love. I don't think she actually intended to hit him with any of those things. I was saying, like, get out before I cry, you little bitch. I think that's what that meant. But I do think, in actuality, she takes care of Chopper. And I think she took care of him. I think at first, she took care of him out of memory for Hiruluk. But I think as their relationship grew, he became like a son to her. Because at that point, they lived together. She got to know her. She's just not as... She doesn't wear her heart on her sleeve that Hiruluk does. And I completely think that the relationship wasn't as abusive as it seems, or at least no more abusive than your average tsundere relationship in an anime. Anyways, I just want to see if you had something to say.
I don't want to refute. The things I'm going to say are just going to be directly opposite to what you said in a few specific instances, but like ultimately, I thought the relationship went too far in moments, and that's why I didn't view it as overly loving. Tsundere might be a good reason. Knowing what that is, I don't care. I wish you would have been more like Hiruluk was to Chopper. That's the kind of person he needed in his life.
Very boring.
We
have 2 minutes of the same
You have a good father, and you have a fucking drunk, abusive mother.
I don't think she's...
She is a drunk.
No, she's a drunk. She's
she
a drunk.
threw literal warhammers and axes and shit at his head, not just when she was getting him to leave, either.
I think she missed on purpose.
There's a reason he's so sheepish around people and so scared to do things. I don't know.
Maybe it's pre-that when people were shooting at him?
No. Oh. And she thinks
and
throwing
he's getting
shit.
beat up by his own species.
And she
Are you
thinks
kidding me?
Yeah, he's been abused his whole life. You think she'd be a little bit nicer taking him in.
That's not how she is. That's not her character.
I know. That's why I like Hiruluk more. Do you like Hiruluk more than Kureha?
I don't know, actually.
Because we could probably agree on that.
Put them on the same
I like them the same because they're different.
One's the mom, one's the dad.
And they have different ways of showing affection.
And don't get me wrong, Hiruluk is a little bit more influential because of the fact that he gives one of the best death speeches you've ever heard.
Yeah.
People, you don't truly die until you're forgotten.
Yeah. Fuck. It's fantastic.
But anyway,
sorry, that's my hot take. It's fine.
But
your hot take keeps on stepping on Brock's toes.
He asked me to.
No, I asked him. I actually asked for that.
Shut it.
I'm better at shutting it than you are.
It's my hot take.
Last word always has to have the last word. Go ahead, Brock.
Done, Alex? Anyways. Shit. I almost lost my train of thought there.
We just got finished talking about Kureha.
I know that.
Oh.
But yeah, so I think, thinking back on it, it had a surprising number of deeply affecting emotional moments on the parts of just about all the main characters. Well, actually, more on the involved Drum Island residents as opposed to the Straw Hats. I think the Straw Hats were kind of the observers this time. Besides when they were fighting, obviously. Besides that, they were the observers. Like, I mean, most of the main castle battle, that was Sanji and Luffy, and a little tiny bit of Nami. Everyone else was just down and trying to get up for the most of it. Like, that wasn't even a full Straw Hat arc. That was an arc exclusively for showing Chopper's dream and recruiting him, you know? But I think that was a nice, different take, because you got to see it from minds other than the ones we're so used to seeing now. So for me, Drum would probably be a high Buriti or a low Brook.
Okay. Brook. Unless you're like outside of Buriti, like Brook or Luffy tier, it's probably gonna end up in Caribou.
I'm mid-Brook. Like, I would put, personally on my list, I'd put it between Logtown and Barati.
I mean, I'll have it in Barati or Caribou, honestly. Do you think it's better than, like, do you think it's high Buriti if we put in Buriti?
Do what?
Like, better than
so
Reverse
in
Mountain?
your opinion, Brock, do you think it's above Reverse Mountain?
Well, you gotta take into account the fact that I think Whiskey Peak's better than Reverse Mountain as well. But I think it's about...
Well, when you say it's in low Brook, like at your highest,
Low
because
Brook?
I would put it mid-Brook currently.
Oh, currently?
For me.
Currently...
So do you think, because it's going to end up going probably down either bottom of Brook because of me influencing it, or do you think it's better than Reverse Mountain?
My personal...
Obviously, just make your compromises here. That's
Yeah, no. My personal take is that it is better than Reverse Mountain.
Okay.
But I probably about the same as Whiskey Peak for different reasons.
Okay.
So I would probably put it high Buriti.
Okay. I'm going to put it there as well, and then I will actually give like my actual reason. I can agree with Alex on Wapple.
Oh, yeah.
Wapple is actually my least favorite antagonist.
I didn't even mention him because I hate him.
Yeah, no, exactly. He doesn't deserve even the recognition. The motherfucker shows up for the first time and takes a fucking bite out of the Mary. When you fuck with my ship for just no reason whatsoever, you just showed up. Like, Big Mom fucks with the Sunny at some point, but she has an absolute valid reason by her opinion. Fucking Wapple just shows up. I'm hungry. Munch!
Yeah.
Fucking...
That's why he gets fucking slingshotted twice by Luffy.
Yeah, fucking deserves it, mind you.
Also,
his
people are stupid.
He and his people are literally the worst thing about Drum Island, in my opinion.
Okay.
I love all the other funny stuff. I love all the other serious stuff. I do not understand your like hatred of Kureha. Like, I can get it to an extent because my wife kind of doesn't deal well with like the gaslighting and the weird relationship that Luke and Kureha both have with Chopper. But at the end of the day, like, the funniest thing is with all that stuff, she still likes Kureha more than Nami. My wife hates Nami. Period.
I don't know.
She finds Kureha much less selfish than Nami.
I mean, look, I think the main reason is that like Kureha's meant to be like a good character, and for me as a viewer, I just didn't see that bridge made entirely. I don't know. It's just a personal opinion.
So it just make sure. So where is it going?
So
exactly?
Right now, Barrietti should be Drum Island, Reverse Mountain, Whiskey Peak, Syrup Village.
Okay.
So high Buriti. Because I drug it down with
Just making sure our current standings in the actual tier list. So we got Arlong Park and God Usopp on that screen.
Yep.
Orange Town first and Romance Dawn in Luffy tier.
Yep.
Nothing in Roger tier yet. Logtown and Baratier in Brook.
Yep.
Already went over Barrietti. And then Caribou is our single little garden.
Yes.
Okay. On to Alabasta.
Alabasta.
Big arc.
Big arc, good arc, fantastic arc in some regards. Let's see where we all...
It is the arc that got me into Dvorak's New World Symphony.
Got you into divorce?
No, that's not what he said. I knew you were going to say that too, and I was like, fuck out by myself.
No.
Oh, no.
God.
Oh,
no.
shit. Oh, Brock, don't leave. Brock, well, now he's gone.
Well, I made a divorce joke, and now we've lost one.
Divorce casts a long shadow.
Anyway, no, divorce is, what'd you call it? What's the actual name?
Dvorak. Dvorak's New World Symphony, the final movement.
No, it's fantastic. I absolutely understand it. I find myself going back and just watching that clip just for that sometimes.
Alabaster, I'm not even going to go into it. I literally think Alabaster, for so many fucking reasons, deserves to either be Roger tier or God Usopp tier.
I'm going to just real quick pick it into Roger tier for me personally.
My buddy Pell's in there. I love Pell for weird reasons. I just love Pell.
And you're so happy that he lived, right?
Hey. Oda gave me that. He didn't have to.
Yeah, I know, right? You're one of those people who started the Willipede.
Post Alabasta, we did not need to go back at all. But to see that man fucking on a crutch walking through the desert to a medical random house, I was so ecstatic because he was literally one of my favorite characters on the good side of the revolution. He was flying around.
He was one of your favorite characters with one of 5 devil.
Yes, no. You know, all the problems with Pell, piled on. I love that guy. He's a fucking swordsman who flies with the falcon fruit. He's dope as hell. And he's Alabasta's greatest warrior. That's just cool. Now, the Straw Hats and the fucking Warlord and Baroque Brooks always are going to outclass whoever the Island Guardians are every fucking time. So I was like, this dude's dope. And he carried that fucking bomb off. You have to thank Pell for everything working out.
I just don't want to talk about Pell longer than I have to.
Well, that's
not
why
because he's not cool, but just because, he brings this whole other conversation in that I'm just like, I don't want to have this conversation right now.
I'll keep it simple. You've got fucking Crocodile, the hero who's an evil warlord who wants Pluton. You've got the fucking introduction of Robin. Holy shit, Miss.
Only our technical introduction of Robin was back at
Whiskey Peak. Yeah, but again, we get to see some cool shit. Baroque works. Dope as hell. The entire revolutionary thing that's just not working out in anyone's favor. Dope as hell. Phoebe's childhood friend leading it all. Dope as hell. Love the arc. Alabaster is top tier. One of the top tiers in my opinion.
I'm putting it just quick in Roger. Watching this arc all of it in one day, you get the full introduction of Ace, which is just already fantastic. I can't believe you didn't even mention that.
Ace,
your girlfriend loves Ace. How did you forget, man? Oh my gosh.
Smoker
reappears. Smoker gets to actually see, oh my god, maybe these Straw Hat Pirates aren't as bad as I think. And, he has to start questioning his own morals a little bit when he realizes that if it weren't for the Straw Hats, this country would have gone into a full-blown civil war. And, it was already on the starts of it, but it could have gotten a lot worse.
A lot more people could have died.
So here's one of the few times where the anime adaptation and the filler that it adds is actually quite good, if you ask me. Because a lot of those extra villages and things that they go and do kind of really adds to Vivi's whole plight of trying to understand her own nation better so she can hopefully rule it better.
Yeah. Besides the big poneglyph.
I didn't even care that it was at least...
Oda, the first time I think in the whole story, he'd be like, actually in the anime they did this, that's not a real poneglyph. Because, he had to be that's not one of the... Because there's only so many of them, and they all hold very important information. Okay. So he had to be they put that in there. They shouldn't have. Sort of not clear.
Let's just say it was just a...
Just because you brought up the fillers, I just had to put that out there. It doesn't take anything away.
I like to look at that as just, this nice foreshadowing of Robin's desire to learn all that. And obviously we eventually learned that, yes, there is technically a limited number of those in the world. So let's just say that was just like a fake one that they threw out, and that's
Anime
why it was
having
found in
too
a
much
ruin
fun.
one day, because that was to throw off the scent of the government or something.
Sure.
That's how I'll apologize for that one. Anyway,
One Piece apologist.
yeah,
Love that.
One Piece filler apologist. Like the first time ever, you would never catch me dead doing that for Naruto's filler.
Oh, so we're seeing this whole episode of Great.
Oh, thank God, Kiba wants to be Hokage. Let's watch him sniff his dog's ass.
Oh, they're building.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, so we do that. We go to ring dinners. We get the whole Mr. Prince stuff, which you gotta love. I loved the capture of them with Smoker and all that cool shit.
One of the best attacks on that fucking crocodile, banana croc.
Banana crocodile thing.
What are they called?
Banana Crocs or
The
something.
one on a...
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, look up what the Japanese
Banana
translation is, because that's actually...
Dingo Dial.
God damn it. And then...
Banana Gator.
Yeah, Banana Gator.
Banana
So
Gator.
then,
Hold it!
So then we get, obviously, the first of many Luffy's first defeat by Crocodile.
So many defeats for
So-
a hero.
They're rough.
They're rough.
Yeah, fuck.
But you get that full-on sprint across the desert, across the river, to get all of the rest of our crew and Vivi to Alubarna to help try and stop that. And you just get this epic, like, I'm just talking the whole breakdown of that. Them trying to stop Baroque Works and the Civil War that is now springing up is just fantastic. It is a fantastic final act to this long saga that we've been going through since Whiskey Peak.
Fucking
essentially.
Bon Clay, man.
Bon Clay's awesome.
Clay.
Bon Clay's awesome.
Zoro's Mr. One Fight.
Yeah, the Mr. One fight.
Usopp and Chopper.
Usopp
Team
and
up.
Chopper, like one
Fuck
of the...
Miss Christmas, though.
Yeah, fucking Merry Christmas. And then we get the gun dog! Everything gets thrown out the window with the gun dog!
Yeah,
Ah!
Gun Dog was a game changer.
That was the
It
game
absolutely
changer.
was.
Brock told me about the gun dog, and I was like, how the fuck is a gun a dog?
The Gun Dog that's
Oh, and it
sick.
shoots balls, by
That's,
the way.
that's sick. The Gun Dog that's sick.
Yeah, anyway. And Nami actually getting a proper fight and doing a pretty darn good job herself.
With Usopp's invention.
That is one thing. I will say
Climatex.
one of my favorite Sanji fights is definitely the Bon Clay fight, since we were just talking about it
It's
as well.
so
It's so good. Luffy coming back, doing water Luffy, and it's one of those great things with Luffy where he's stupid a lot of the time, but we love him for it.
Oh, yeah.
But he's got such a combat-oriented mind.
He's a genius
And
in the
luck.
battlefield.
He is so...
And luck. Luck plays a big
Yeah,
role in
don't-
the crocodile fights. Just saying.
In the ones he survived, but after he learned the secret, then it became a tactical thing.
Yes, the blood fighting. Yes. Yes.
Also, I don't even consider that luck.
No.
That-
When he shot the water thing straight up in the air after, like,
Okay,
Crocodile tried him out.
yes.
He didn't
Yes,
fucking
okay.
win that shit.
I was like, oh, come on. The
Blood
fucking-
fighting is strategy.
The blood fighting
Yeah.
was actually hinted at literally the first time he lost because he grabbed Crocodile's arm
No.
with his bloody hand. That is such a fantastic foreshadow.
Yeah.
I actually had to make sure my wife caught that because that was the first time I caught
Learning
it.
as he
was
fights.
like, oh my
Yep.
god,
Huge
I just
foreshadow.
noticed Luffy grabbed his arm.
Huge foreshadow. That's
Super awesome. And then, we go into the catacombs. Robin lies to Crocodile to make sure he doesn't get the weapon in any way, shape, or form. He obviously can tell she's lying. He tries to kill her. All that good shit. Luffy finally beats Crocodile, and it's just fucking awesome. And then Pell's sacrifice, which is then immediately undone. And
Smoker lets them go.
and Smoker lets them go. Oh, Kung Fu Dugongs!
Kung Fu Dugongs.
I do love my Kung Fu Dugongs. Okay, that's all I gotta say. A tier, easy. I mean, S tier.
Roger tier.
Roger tier.
Yeah.
Easy.
So, I do agree that it's Roger tier.
Going into Roger tier. Sick.
So my reasons for really loving it, I mean, I loved all the things you said, but I think some of the underlying / overlying tones I really enjoyed it was Vivi's journey of becoming a Straw Hat. I really enjoyed seeing what it was like for their current non-official member. No, she's official, but she's not with them.
Yes.
They're spiritual members.
Basically, like a grand.
Oh, she's coming back.
She's yeah, duh. Like she's gotta be. Probably. But just seeing her grow into this group of people she never would have thought she might have associated with earlier, and just that moment when Luffy's like, "You should be willing to let us die for you," and that was like, "Oh my god, that's fucking amazing!" Damn near nerded in my shorts.
Yeah, Luffy ain't no sexist. He'll punch a woman equally.
Oh yeah, exactly. But it was just like
powerful.
It was a powerful punch because it was a punch, literally, of friendship. It was like, I'm doing this because you're being unrealistic.
He became Monkey D. Garp in that moment.
He was like, this is war. This is the first time he wasn't being idealistic. He's like, this is war. You're trying to save everybody? Are you kidding me? Let us fight for you.
What are you, stupid?
Yeah. And that was such a... Her growth,
100%.
thanks to them, was super just cool. And just her association with the Straw Hats. And it's still, to this day, one of my favorite... I love all the royalty and Straw Hat relationships they form. But hers is the first, like, tighter than blood, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so much so that every time, like, there's the Straw Hats are in the newspaper after this, Cobra is always, like, reading the news. He wants to see what the fuck's going on with the Straw Hats. And he's being skeptical about it. Like, obviously it's being written in a horrible way about them, but he's like, wonder what it's actually about. What are you doing over there, Alex?
Okay.
Go ahead, Brian.
And then...
You're so sus, Berg.
Let's go... Let's also talk about the fact that this was probably the first time the Straw Hats fought... Yeah, not probably. This is the first time the Straw Hats fought a war. This is the first time they fought on such a grand scale. This is essentially... They're in the professional leagues with this. Like Arlong was the beginning of the professional leagues, I would say. But this is like, okay, we're in it now because this guy is one of the balancing forces. You know? And plus, I love Crocodile's design. I love his voice actor.
Hell yeah.
He is fucking suave. He is cool. Like, I love him. And, like, even when he's getting his ass beat, he's still cool. Like, I'm going to kick your ass. He's like, he just gives off a vibe of, like, a mob boss. Not so much as Capone, Gang Beige, obviously. But
I was thinking Sykes from Oliver and Company.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Seriously.
Because he kind of has that vibe.
He has the cigar.
And then as he's losing, like, I remember in Oliver and Company when, Sykes is losing, he's, like, kind of going crazy the same way Crocodile's kind of going.
His hair's going out of place. It's no longer slicked back completely because he has to actually deal with shit.
Hell yeah.
But it was also our first time seeing Luffy actually be able to fight a Logia, which that in and of itself is super cool because when you think of what happened with Smoker, you're like, oh crap, what are you gonna do against these guys? Yeah. It's like, oh my god, he just dehydrated Luffy to a husk. What are we gonna do against this guy? And then he's like, he actually hits him and like, what? And like, water hardened sand.
And the tenacity of using your own blood to help you win the fight.
And sweat. And just like, oh my god, that does happen. And that's so fucking clever, you know? And so they're like, oh my god, Logias aren't invincible.
People always try to dunk on Oda for this because apparently he might have like said something along the lines of he thinks that he introduced Crocodile too soon, and I'm just like, the fuck? What?
Even if he did, who cares?
Who cares?
It was a cool fucking arc.
It was so good. And like when you look at where we're at now and like the chain of events that have led us to where we're at, I wouldn't want the story any other way. Like I don't give a shit. Like I love that Luffy was able to beat this person.
Yeah.
Just through being Luffy.
Yeah, well, and also, well, not also, but I think there's something you might have had a problem with, Burke.
Nope.
But I, as someone who likes happy endings, as someone who doesn't like character deaths very much, I was very happy with Oda create your face. I was very happy for Oda setting his own standard of death is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And so until then, no one's gonna die because we got Pell's alive. Igaram's alive, because you thought Igaram was dead way back
Long
in
time
Whiskey
ago,
Peak.
yeah.
You're like, you still alive? What? I mean, hell, you could probably make arguments. You thought that just about all of the guards were going to die.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, shit, no, man, losing people here, you know? And it's just, I, for one, just because in that regard, I'm very vanilla.
100%.
You know, I know a lot of people like death. Would you stop pointing at me, Burke?
I am just remembering my points. That's
all.
all.
I get you. You're pointing at the heavens.
I have
pointing at Pell.
I have no point. I'm just having a good time.
But I personally really enjoy the standard that characters in this world can survive more than characters in the real world.
They'll go through it, but they'll survive.
They'll survive usually, unless they're like
it's still a huge minority.
Unless they're in the backstory, or if they're just like random not random.
Naomi's adopted.
Throwaways
Not coming back.
No, that would piss me off.
Yeah,
if that happened.
Elevator.
Okay.
RIP, bro.
But I truly do enjoy that he sets a precedent of if they're gonna die, you're gonna know, and it's gonna mean the world.
100%.
It's gonna mean the survival. And I get you could argue that for like Pell's bomb thing.
I can't argue it. I love it.
No, I mean don't get me wrong, but I still enjoy the fact that he survived it, and
he's awakened.
Here's the thing: is the way the way you look at the perspective you see it from.
Sure.
It's hard to gauge whether he was still carrying the bomb,
or if he flung that.
If he dropped it at a certain height, as it was about to explode, who knows? But
it's epic.
In my thing, to be fair, it's a total bias on my part. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan. I'm not a huge kill off characters because
I like my favorite characters to live.
That's good, but I
do.
And you guys hear this all the time, and when we're talking about the current chapters,
100%.
Where it's like, I really hope these guys survive. You know,
I think they're dead. Woo woo.
And you're like, no, they're not. Okay. And then
you have Oda on your side, though. I think most of the time when we have those.
I hope so. I really do think he keeps that, and I like that he keeps that consistent.
Has someone died in the raid yet, Brock?
What?
Has someone died in the raid yet?
We don't fucking know.
No, but clearly.
No.
Nope.
I said we don't know.
You're doing okay.
Sorry, Burke. I know your arm's probably getting tired.
And my face.
And your face. You're gonna develop a permanent frown at this point. You're getting wrinkles in your forehead there, buddy boy.
Keep it relevant. He's gonna get
mad. But then finally, let me just finish my thing. I absolutely... this is the first arc for me that really showed me where Luffy stood on a purely physical level. And that from the get-go, he was probably already top tier in the world as far as physically. Because when Crocodile lost his Logia powers in the final fight, he didn't stand a chance against Luffy.
Nope.
Luffy fucked him up.
Oh, yeah. He was pretty pissed.
And it was so cool to see. He was like, all right, bitch, now you're mine. And then I mentioned this beginning, but the very end, Go in a Storm, Dvorak's World Symphony. So good.
Yeah.
And just to see him break through.
Oh, and the rain.
And then you get that kind of sadness of, that brief sadness of poor Vivi just screaming to people to stop, probably bleeding her lungs at that point.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, please. You just see how much she cares.
Yeah.
No normal royalty would go through the shit that she has.
That's why she's special.
You know? That's why she is a straw hat.
Yeah, basically.
But, I mean, I think we've all hit on enough reasons that it's a Roger tier arc.
It's a top tier arc.
So, what's up, Bert? You wanted to say stuff?
I need to reiterate.
Uh-oh.
I am not mad that Pell and Igaram survived. I'm not mad about it. The greater discussion that is there that I just said I didn't want to get into is the idea of the fake out death and how often Oda uses it. That's all. Which, like, when you talk about my reaction to, say, Kinemon recently, which I've come around to, because then it gave Usopp that epic speech, like, 2 chapters ago.
Yeah.
But it's just the idea of the fake-out death. If you're gonna do a fake-out death, do it in a way that's not, like, you see Pell go up and the bomb go off. Where there shouldn't be a reason for him to survive. Because I am still holding out, and I swear to God, if Oda does it, I'm gonna be pissed.
No,
because
it's not gonna be Pedro. So
yes.
No.
I swear to God, if Germa
no.
picks up Pedro,
Oh no!
I will actually be so pissed.
It won't happen. It won't happen. I bet you $100.
Guarantee me.
$100.
I'm not gonna bet money
Okay,
on
well,
it.
I'm willing to because I was
seriously.
so sure on. No, his death
I'm
is
sorry, but fucking, you know, so you have Germa and you have fucking Capone leaving Hulkin at the same time. And Capone picks up a pound. The Willoughby is strong with these ones, okay?
He wanted to reunite with his daughters. That one makes
all
sense.
I had to say about that was I am not mad that Pell and Igaram survived. I am very happy that they survived.
You're mad that their death seemed so final. For fake
No,
outs.
well,
You know who's hurt
I'm mad.
if Pell's actually dead? I'm hurt because I really like
I don't
the guy.
care if you're hurt.
But that's the thing. Most fans don't give a shit about Pell. So if he was dead or not, they probably wouldn't have given a second thought. The only reason they're mad is because they go, if he had just been dead, no one would have thought twice about Pell. Good for him. He sacrificed himself. But now that he survived, it's like, fuck that guy. He should be dead. It was a big old bomb.
We still think of Pedro to this day, whether he's dead or not. So shut up.
Garrett has flashbacks.
To be fair,
Wanda has
Pedro
flashbacks.
I think is...
He's a... Yeah.
I think Pedro, he was more directly introduced into the Straw Hats' adventure into Whole Cake. I think he was more memorable in that regard. I think if Pell died, it'd be like, well, that sucks. But that's what you do when you carry a bomb into the sky, I guess. I do think we would have remembered Pell less than Pedro.
Pell's way more forgettable. Pedro is the little reason that Carrot has this whole, like, oh, I can do more, right? Like, everyone has their moment. That's his whole speech to her.
Anyway,
and also...
I can't attest to any of that because obviously the thing on our mind is that Pell survived. He survived what was essentially the nuclear blast at the end of Dark Knight Rises. So, you know, I can't tell you what the actual consensus on that would be because Pell's alive. That Schrodinger's cat has been answered for us. So, I'm not mad about it. I just think that it started a trend.
Stop yelling, man.
I just think it started a trend that Oda has a problem with when it comes to some of his narrative devices. And I'm not saying that I hate Oda for it.
Okay, George R. Martin.
You do have a bias towards, like...
No, I don't. That's Ryan.
That's
No.
Ryan.
You enjoy Game of Thrones is what I mean.
Yeah, but
and the deaths in that is more
But I
reasonable.
acknowledge that One Piece is funny pirate anime and not Game of Thrones.
But you wouldn't mind if it was a little darker in some scenes because
well, when
some
you have
characters
things like
can...
Ace and Whitebeard, yes.
Right.
And you swear to the heavens that Pedro will stay dead, and at this point I'm not so convinced. I'm convinced that the only deaths that matter are the ones that happen in the past and the ones that are building to Luffy.
Ace.
Last thing I'll say on this, really, Pell just isn't an Ace or a Whitebeard. Him being alive or dead really doesn't
He could have been
matter.
for Vivi.
No.
Yeah, he could have. Absolutely.
I think that was more Agram than Pell.
No, 100% no.
Yeah.
That's
That's all I gotta say. I'm not mad about it.
Alabaster's a great arc. It's Roger Tier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we all agree on that.
Jaya! Let's go to Jaya.
Jaya!
Jaya's queen.
I'm gonna keep Jaya short because it's a shorter arc. I love the Mont Blanc stuff. I love Sanji's origin.
Yep.
Bellamy gets his
The
shit.
hint at Sanji's origin.
Sure, I was born in the North Blue. Ooh. I love the whole Nolan stuff. I like Cricket. I like the two ape dudes. That's fun.
I like the introduction of Blackbeard, even though he becomes a piece of shit later.
I like how the Four Kids dub is where the Straw Hats die in that arc because the ship falls on them, and that's where the Four Kids dub ended. And so that's just that.
I love the first of some of my favorite punches in the whole series.
100%.
The first of many one-punch Luffys.
Yep.
One punch!
Chalamet, piece of shit. Blackbeard introduction. Dreams will never die.
Such a fun introduction, though, for one of the...
Eating pie.
Also, I just appreciate that Luffy is, like, basically starting the entire arc acting like Shanks.
Yeah.
And the whole time he just goes about acting like Shanks.
Yeah.
You can spit on me, you can pour drinks on me, but the minute you harm one of my friends, it's on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You mess with my cricket friend.
No, we don't really get that until the end of Skypiea. Never mind.
One more thing I want to add.
Oh, and the bounty increase.
Bounty increase.
Yes.
But this is something people forget is in Jaya.
Technically, the bounty increase with the end of Alabasta, but then
I know,
they
but when they
find
see
out.
it, it's so satisfying.
So good. Okay.
Something that people forget about at Jaya was also the meeting of the warlords.
Ah, yes.
So yeah, the first time we ever meet my boy Dofi and big old Kuma Bear, and we see Mihawk's there.
Suru, we've got fucking bird hat goat guys.
Sengoku?
Sengoku, jeez.
Bird hat goat
And
guy.
then
Was that our first time seeing Sengoku?
I believe
I feel like
so.
I feel like we might have seen him when they got their first bounty, but I don't know.
No.
I'm not gonna.
No, yeah, I think that was...
So that's kind of epic, yeah.
Yeah,
Jaya,
good stuff.
Jaya for me is a Luffy arc.
High Luffy over Orange Town for sure.
Oh, yes. Brock?
In my opinion. First time, I will add this, and it was a negative the first time around. It is a positive this time around. I didn't like the monkeys very much the first time I watched it. Second time, fucking love them. I love them. I love, obviously, Cricket was awesome. Cricket was always a good thing for me, but the monkeys were kind of like, eh. But I honestly love them.
And trying to prove his ancestor right.
Almost in like a, I don't even care kind of way. Like, you ruined my life, so I'm just going to fucking do this. Like, I don't know.
And I hate Bellamy.
It's a complex relationship, him and his ancestor.
Indeed.
I would, yeah, I think I'll agree. I think top Luffy.
Luffy.
I think what decides it for me is the one punch on Bellamy.
Yeah.
That was the first single. That was the first like super satisfying.
So
just,
condescending.
Like,
so
this
jumpy,
is where we
so
stand.
tough.
This is where
Well,
you
especially
stand.
because then after Luffy displays his scary side again, then he immediately goes back to Goofy because they're like, "Hey, Straw Hat, where are you going?" And he like looks back at them. No, he doesn't. No, like I think didn't he just put his fist in the air?
Sarkis was like, "Come back and fight." And he was like,
he puts his fist in the air. "Where are you going, Straw Hat?" And he just looks back with his goofy look on his face and points up to the sky, and that's all.
Knock upstream.
and that's such a cool that's such a cool mirror to when it was like they were making fun of him for wanting to go to the sky.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, by the way, assholes, who we just completely destroyed.
By the way, I'm going there. I don't care what you guys say.
Call y'all.
So yeah.
It was very cool, just like...
If we hadn't been so quick on that, Brock, would you put it higher or lower?
Higher or lower?
Yeah.
Would you, like outside of Luffy tier?
Would
Or do you
you
think it
put
is
it-
a Luffy tier?
Or were you like basically unanimous with us that top of Luffy tier? Not quite Roger tier.
I don't think it's super close to Roger tier.
Okay.
But I do think it is above Romance at Dawn and Orange Town.
Okay.
There's just so much fun stuff
So yeah,
happening.
I'd say
Cool.
Luffy. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, they have their fucking barrel suits in the beginning because they have to go dive for
That
shit.
is fun.
Yeah,
Also, the ship falling from the sky on them.
Yeah.
Ha!
the giants
Rob-
in the sky.
There are giants in the sky. Sorry. Okay.
Nerds.
True.
I'm just
Don't
kidding.
act like you don't know the song too, bro.
Audition with that shit,
and Robin studying the bodies that they found from that, and like obviously getting to like right off the bat display her archaeology skills.
Yeah, man.
It's awesome. Cool. Skypiea.
Ho, 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 ho. God. I have a special relationship with Skypiea because it's what I based
Scandalous.
it's what I based my first D&D One Piece character off of.
Ah.
Was because I
Which
was
is so
in
funny
Skypiea.
because you hadn't. Wait. What?
Yeah. Well, I started watching it in preparation for the game because you guys already started playing, and so I was watching it. I got to Skypiea, and then I was like, Ryan, I know who my character is going to be.
Yeah.
And it was a Skypian.
For some reason, I thought you had joined before you got to.
Well, I kind of went through it in like a weekend, like up to Skypiea. Cool. So Skypiea for me, there's one moment that really defines a lot of it.
Okay.
And that's when you have Zoro, Robin, the Raider in the mask.
Wiper.
Wiper, and Gonfall, all pointing their weapons at Eneru, sitting on his cloud, the people who made it in his, like, kill everyone challenge, the final 5. And if, only one can leave, we can all leave now. And they're like, no, we're going to kick your fucking ass. Now, there's great moments throughout Skypiea. It's a really long arc. The priests are fantastic. Eneru's whole lightning, Logia.
It's not as long as you would think.
Well,
it feels long.
It feels long, but it doesn't. It's long because a lot happens in it, but it doesn't feel like it's dragging on. Every moment in Skypiea is better and better and better. Gonfall and his stupid frickin' bird, Zoan eating thing. Pierre. Oh, I love Pierre. Eneru and the lightning plus the and what was it called? What was observation called?
Mantra.
Mantra. That whole thing. Luffy beating him because he's made of fucking rubber. Eneru's face, my guys. Eneru's face. And then the Super Ryuji God final attack, the ringing of the bell, Cricket looking up being like, there's the fucking bell. He fucking did it. At the end, I absolutely love Skypiea. Skypiea for me is a Roger tier arc, if not God Usopp tier.
Just to be clear, in the manga, Skypiea is 66 chapters. In the anime, it is only 43 episodes.
Is it longer than Alabasta?
Alabasta,
filler?
Alabasta without filler. Get me back over there. Hold on. Alabasta is they're about the same, 63 chapters. Anime, which obviously includes some of the filler, is 39 episodes.
And remind me if I'm wrong, but Skypiea didn't have filler. It was just...
No.
At the very end, they had
G8.
But that was after, right? That's in between arcs. So, no, and Skypiea was just awesomeness. Loved it. Also, the fucking, Nolan. No. The guy working on their boat when it was
the Klabauterman.
Yeah, the Klabauterman in that moment with Usopp and it's smiling like the personification of the Mary, and later obviously you know what that really is, last legs and shit, but so spooky, so fun.
So where would you put Skypiea?
Roger or Usopp tier. I'm in between those two. I can go either way.
If I were to agree with you on Roger, would you say it's above or below Alabasta? I can agree with you on Roger.
I'm gonna be really selfish. I'm gonna say it's above Alabasta for me.
Okay. Brock, you're the deciding vote because I say it is below Alabasta, but it is still absolutely Roger tier. Love Skypiea. I love some of the stuff we brought back to it in current day stuff.
It has such a wonderful shelf life.
And the best thing about Skypiea, in my opinion, and sorry that I was trying to give you the floor there, Brock, I just have to say this. Skypiea feels like its own adventure. It doesn't really feel connected to everything.
It feels like a giant
fun filler. It feels like a fun treasure hunt.
So good.
And then at the very end, you see that there is this one thing that connects it back to everything. Yeah. And there's this note from Gold D. Roger.
And the whole backstory with Noland and the
which, that connects us to Jaya more so with Cricket.
But it also connects us to Wiper and all of his people that are living up there now.
Kagura was obviously the ancestor of Wiper, and Nolan was the ancestor of Cricket.
Fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
Brock, you hated Skypiea.
I didn't hate it. But...
Oh, God. Everything a man says before the word but is
horseshit. No, I honestly didn't hate it.
To quote Game of Thrones.
No, but you're not saying that you love it.
It's not Roger for me.
Oh!
It's okay.
Dare you say what, fucker?
You have God Eminem! What the fuck?
He's a rap god.
Anyway, go ahead.
So I guess a good way to... It's hard for me to...
No, it's all good.
...put into, good wording. Alabasta clicked with me more. I think a big part of it was I wasn't a huge fan of a lot of the major minor characters. Say, the Skypians. I wasn't... They didn't really affect me much as a watcher.
You didn't like Konichiwa!
Well, it was just kind of
her fucking dad.
No, I mean,
Another Will of P.
It was sad.
True.
It was sad, but it was
that one
like...
pissed me off. Not really, I'm just kidding.
But
I didn't care that much.
Honestly, a lot of the characters for me were rather forgettable in that arc, besides the Straw Hats and the ones they fought. But honestly, here's the thing. My favorite moments were really weird.
I'm not judging him.
I'm over here like, we need to revoke his title of Otaku Uncle.
I'm not judging you.
Anyways.
Please
I'm
continue.
pretty sure no one in here is an uncle, okay?
No.
Aren't you guys...
I'm a
aren't you
order
guys-
uncle.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Anyway,
No,
go-
my half-brother has a child.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways,
we're just over here making fun of you a little bit.
I have interesting moments that I enjoy. Obviously, the face is a fave for everyone. I will always, you will never convince me that the first time Enru actually looks fucking
Horrified.
surprised. He was like, what? And the first time he gets hit, when Luffy full on kicks him in the gut, and he's just spewing like a freaking boxer in slow-mo. Oh. Really good moment. Really good moment.
Come on, clear the skies. Ogun Rife.
Running up the fucking...
Running up the beanstalk as
Oh
it's
my
falling
God.
down because
Jack
Zoro
the
had to
Beanstalk.
cut it right. And
You
just,
guys are really not letting me talk here.
I'm so sorry. I just
Let me finish
This is
my
how
thoughts.
I felt with the
Let me
other
finish
one.
my thoughts. I enjoyed the fight at Enru. It was one of those fights to me that there was just a bit too much repeats of certain scenarios, like the running up the beanstalk. I think he had to run up it a few too many times. That part felt really dragged out. I get why they do it. Obviously, that's just part of the anime thing. If you make it as short as the actual manga, then they will have no...
You can't get up there. Try again.
No, I thought the end attack was cool. I thought the message was cool. Like I said, it didn't hit me. Maybe it's just because I saw it a lot more personally in the Alabasta arc, because you had people involved who'd been with them for like so much longer, who I connected with. But really, like, a lot of things that really fill my mind are just like, Sasori was fucking annoying.
Who?
Sasori.
Oh, yeah?
I fucking hate that guy.
I hate that guy too.
That was...
Satori?
He has a brother that's a Satori.
Oh, God.
Sasori, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That's Naruto. That's the red-haired guy that has
Whatever his
puppets
name. You know what I'm
that
talking about.
uses-
The ball challenge.
I'm
yes.
looking him up
He's
really
annoying.
quick just to be sure.
The favorite of the priest for me was Gedatsu because he was so funny. He was so funny to watch. He's like, I forgot to breathe. How could be so foolish?
I kind of like the ironclad guy with the punching dog, the boxing pup, that you just had to tell him to sit.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Satori.
But the problem for me was, besides the fight with Eneru, the most interesting fight to me was Ohm, and he wasn't anything compared to Mr. One in my opinion. I think Mr. One was a lot more intense. I think it was a lot more growth for Zoro. It was a lot, and I mean Zoro learned from this as well. It was he used an attack a long. He's the first time he used a long range attack.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Nighthawk or something.
But it didn't. It didn't hit me the same way. No, it was the Phoenix one, the 100-pound Phoenix or whatever.
Yeah,
oh, was it Hawkwave?
No, it wasn't Hawkwave.
Maybe
That's later on. But like I said, the end of your fight was great. I don't know. It's just a lot about Skypiea doesn't actually stick with me, and I think, and like I said, I think that's because Alabasta stuck with me too much.
Yeah, I mean, this will happen, right? This is
that being said, I'm not denying its quality. For me, it's a Luffy tier.
Okay.
Below or above Jaya, first off?
I would put it above Jaya.
It's inherently related to Jaya.
I put it above Jaya just because, Jaya's connected to it.
Okay, so then as our compromise,
End of Roger tier?
I'm just going to leave it at the bottom of Roger tier. We can clean up later if it needs to go down into Luffy tier.
Okay.
Because he
That's
says
fine.
above Alabasta, I say below Alabasta, and then you say above or below Jaya. What was it?
Above Giant.
Okay, so that's basically where I already have it.
Yeah.
So
No, I think
I still
like
think it belongs
Alabasta.
in Roger tier. You say top of Luffy tier right
Last thing on Skypiea, Sanji's thanks for the light.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Another great Sanji moment that I can absolutely simp for. Alrighty, here we go. The real one. The real controversy.
The moneymaker.
Here we go. Let's go. Afro Luffy. Everybody put your afros on. Alrighty, here's what I gotta say. Foxy's going straight to Orochi.
Orochi tier. Orochi tier for me too.
I will give it that it has grown on me in the sense of the world building and a bunch of other cool stuff. And fuck Foxy. We will meme on that I like Foxy when it comes to our actual podcast. But seriously, only Orochi is worse than Foxy, in my opinion, of all the antagonists we've gone against. This is a fun arc. It introduces Davy Backs. Those are fun. Don't get me wrong.
If there's another one that actually has fucking, actual odds
Actual
and
stakes.
shits are at stake, cool.
The only other thing that is good, in my opinion, that comes out of the Foxy, Davy Back arc, whatever, is the appearance of the first time we've ever met Aokiji. Excuse me.
Sure.
At the end.
Look, he shoots a horse.
Hey, can you just be happy? I am agreeing with you that this belongs in
I am
Orochi.
happy.
It is one of the least necessary arcs of all time.
He shoots a horse.
While we said at the beginning of this that we are not saying that it deserves to be gone from the story, it is definitely one of the least necessary, in my opinion.
Look, Foxy's annoying as fuck. His crew is annoying as fuck. He shot a horse. I hate you. He fucking... He's a condescending asshole. I want him hit so many more times than he gets hit in the fucking arc. I want to forget Foxy. It's so fucking bad.
Brock, please disagree with us.
I put it in Caribou. The reason I put it in Caribou is because...
Would you put it in the bottom of Caribou or top of Caribou currently?
Bottom.
You think it's better than a little garden?
I said bottom.
Hey,
No. I'm just saying.
He was the one who didn't like Little Garden as much as I did.
That was a rhetorical question. Of
No,
course it's
here's the thing. Here's the thing about Foxy's arc for me. It's not a necessary chat. It's not a necessary arc, but it is an arc I actually enjoyed. I got a lot of fun out of it. Yeah. It's the first time Zoro and Sanji truly worked together. They had to
for like 30 seconds.
But it was a big moment, And also, like, a lot of flaws, but I really enjoy Foxy's bullshit. I really enjoy those moments he's like, what? He gets depressed when someone makes fun of him. I think he has a lot of funny little things about him that make for an interesting kind of minor antagonist. And also, I loved Afro Luffy. Like, that's top tier Luffy right there. I want Afro Luffy back.
You can have that.
Luffy,
That's
back.
fine.
You can bring it on, Foxy.
I truly did enjoy the David Beck fights. I did enjoy I enjoyed the game. They're really, as strange as it is to say, after what I said about Skypiea, I was never really bored with the Foxy arc. There was never a moment where I'm like, well, there's nothing happening here. Now again, there's nothing happening story-wise. But I think there can be credence in the fact that it's constantly going. And that this it never slows down. There's a game happening. They're going against these guys. Foxy's coming up with a new way to cheat. He's got the slow fruit. And I think it has some legitimacy as an arc, just not as a story progressor. And that's why I put it in Caribou. I don't think it's as bad as everybody says. I think it's enjoyable as far as arcs go.
Okay. That being said, can we compromise with you? Because I want both of you to look ahead. Do you think that there is any other arc on this list, like regardless of your thoughts on it, that you think that we will actually be able to compromise on it being in Orochi tier? Because honestly, Foxy is the only one, when I look ahead, that I would be willing to compromise on it being in Orochi tier.
Honestly, for me, the only The only arcs that would be Orochi tier for me are actual filler.
Yeah.
Which we're not going on.
Exactly.
I'm surprised Foxy isn't filler, but that's just my thoughts.
I mean, yeah, I will give you the freaking novels it's in. Unfortunately, it is not filler.
I know.
There's a lot of filler that was added to it in the anime, which is one of the other reasons people hate it so much.
Fucking necessary.
Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Brock.
No, and I'm not saying there isn't enjoyable stuff in it.
I'm happy you enjoyed it.
But by my
It
expectations, it is one of the least necessary arcs to me. And I think that there are things that are much more fun in other arcs that are more fun than what we get out of this.
So is Top of Orochi okay?
It'll probably be the only Orochi that we have.
I mean, that's the majority consent. I can't really fight against that.
Cool.
Well, we're not trying to force your hand.
If you think about it, either we put it there or it's the bottom of Caribou, which is essentially Orochi anyway.
True. That is very true.
Like, it's essentially Orochi.
It feels like we should just get rid of the Orochi.
No, I mean,
that was my other thought.
Look, Orochi tier,
which is just symbolic because we want to get rid of Orochi in real life anyway.
Every single one of these arcs moves the story forward. The only reason, and this is just straight honesty, Foxy doesn't move the story forward in any real way. And that's why it doesn't necessarily need to be in the story as fun as it is for some people.
Well, I mean, like I said, that could be the same for Little Garden because there's a bunch of things in Little Garden that you can easily replace.
It ties into Alabaster and it ties into
Slightly.
Whiskey Peak.
Slightly.
And we go to Drum because of the sickness
But
there.
And you give Usopp his desire to go to Elbaf.
Yeah, but like I said, there's not enough stuff that can only be done in Little Garden.
But there's nothing in Foxy at all.
Well, there is.
Besides fun. Like, you can have as much fun in Foxy as another filler.
Which you just don't have fun, and I don't have fun because Foxy sucks.
Yeah. I like the old man riding his horse.
Yeah.
That was so jubilating for me. And then Foxy shoots it in the leg. And I will never be okay with that arc. Ever. That man was on stilts for how many years? He's just trying to ride his fucking horse? Fuck you.
Anyway, Brock, just to give you an idea of like how a lot of tier lists work, especially when it comes to like their joke final tier, usually there only ends up being like one thing in it anyway, and that's just why I'm asking this compromise as well, just because the rest of One Piece, like looking ahead, especially what we still have to put in place, there's no way any of these are gonna get even like close to Orochi.
We'll see, but yeah.
We'll see. Like, obviously, we'll have our opinions, but I doubt anything else goes into Orochi.
Cool to move on to Water 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Water 7 is an amazing arc. God, there's so much good stuff in Water 7.
Now, here's the thing I just find so fascinating when I look at what other people think of, obviously, like Water 7 and Enies Lobby, because a lot of people like to group them together. We obviously have for the purposes of this.
We have 3.
Well, yeah, but I'm specifically talking Enies Lobby true, Water 7 true. Post Enies Lobby is its own kind of thing.
Do you cut off Water 7 when they arrive at Enies Lobby?
I cut
or
off
do you give them the train scenes to Enies Lobby?
I think that's when they arrive.
Yeah, it's when they arrive at Enies Lobby.
Okay. So the train's part of Water 7.
Because that's actually how the anime does it too, when it does its cutoffs for that.
Cool.
So yeah, once they arrive at Enies Lobby, that's when Enies Lobby starts.
Cool. Then I can give all the train shenanigans to Water 7.
My cutoff for Enies Lobby at the end into post Enies Lobby is Death of the Mary. Just to be clear. So
like it starts with or ends?
Ends Enies Lobby.
Okay.
Death of the Mary ends Enies Lobby, and then everything after that's
Then they're recovering on Water 7 for like 3 or 4 chapters, which is post, right?
Okay. So let's. So what I was about to say there was I'm always curious to see which is higher in everybody's opinion, Enies Lobby or Water 7.
Enies Lobby.
Really?
Enies Lobby, Water 7,
Okay.
post.
Well, so let's talk about Water 7, where you would place that.
Water 7 for me is either Luffy tier or Roger tier, and Enies Lobby is God Usopp tier.
Interesting.
Post Enies Lobby can be anywhere from Luffy to Buriti.
Okay.
Like, I like the information.
Brock?
We see Kobe again.
And actually, yeah, let's just fucking...
Let's do those three together, yeah.
Do all of them together. So, Brock, where would you put Water 7, Enies Lobby, and Post Enies Lobby?
Water 7.
And we can discuss all of these things after the fact. I think this is just a good... Let's get 3 things out of the way really quick.
Boom, boom, boom. Actually, first and foremost, Brock, which one? 1, 2, 3. Don't even worry about the tiers. Just best, better, last?
I think I like Enies Lobby the most. And then Post Enies Lobby and Water 7 are kind of equal for me.
Really?
Because of what happens in both of them.
But Post Enies Lobby is so short.
You'll see.
Okay.
There's plenty of stuff that happens in Post Enies Lobbies.
It's not about this length, it's about the content.
I mean, okay.
Post
Alright.
Enies Lobbies is like a zoo.
There's so much in... Alright.
Okay, wow. I am actually in the minority today on that one. I put Water 7 first, and then I can at least agree with Brock on, I think, my other two arcs are at least tied, or at least, if I have to say one's above the other, Post Enies Lobbies is a little bit lower than regular Enies Lobby. But Water 7, I just think it's tight. I think it's a fantastic just story. I love the mystery. I love all the drama that is happening in it. I love the betrayal that we get in that in the form of Cypher Pole 9.
Yes.
Because that whole time you're thinking, oh my god, who are these people? Who's behind the mask? And
Right.
obviously they do such a good job of making you think that all the construction people are loyal to Iceberg.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Great
then-
reveal.
Great fucking
Didn't see it
reveal.
coming.
Never
Lauren
saw-
did. Didn't appreciate that, but I didn't.
Hate that she saw that
She
coming.
saw
What the
so
hell?
many. She's like, that secretary's sus. Why doesn't he talk? That bird's sus. Like,
And I think it is some of the tightest character writing. All the characters are kind of doing things that absolutely make sense because Sanji, another absolute fantastic moment. I love that in all the confusion, what does he do? He goes and he waits by the train.
oh yeah.
The only place that can get you out of here during the Aqua Laguna.
Big brain Sanji
So
at that
he-
moment, yeah.
And then, of course, he makes sure to leave a nice big painted sign, Nami, I went this way, or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
And then,
One of the few moments where Sanji has like a really good moment while Zoro doesn't. Because he, at that moment, is in a chimney.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
Luffy's stuck between two really big buildings.
yeah.
And it's not even like, oh, look at Sanji, he's doing so much good work. It's like, he doesn't know any of that. He's just doing some solid stuff because he's like, this needs to happen.
Yeah, he doesn't even know all of the things that are happening. He just
Introduction
does.
of Frankie.
Introduction of Frankie, the whole thing with Usopp, the fight with Usopp. As much as you don't want this to be happening, it is such good character writing.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That is some of the best dialogue that has ever happened in this series. You have this absolute moment where both of these characters are basically speaking their mind on such things, and it obviously gets to a point where it's heated. And another great fucking Sanji moment where he kicks Luffy in the face when Luffy almost says, well, why don't you just
You need to think about what you say.
you need to think about what you say before you fucking
Before you go too far.
before you go too far.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah,
and Luffy admits fault in that moment because even he realizes, yeah, I got too heated. But at that point, the damage is done because Usopp's just like, oh, no, you just want me to leave. That's fine. Yeah. Well, I'm going to challenge you for the Mary. And then it's such an emotional battle because Usopp knows all of Luffy's weaknesses and he gives it his fucking all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you said, you always described it as Usopp actually hurts Luffy.
Yeah.
Not just on a
Emotional level?
An emotional
He
level.
physically hurts him.
He physically hurts Luffy because he's been with him long enough to know exactly what he needs to do.
And this is coming off of his huge absolute beatdown by the fucking Frankie family, where they go and revenge him, completely unbeknownst to him, revenge him, destroy Frankie's fucking shit, all those fucking guys.
Which is so fantastic.
I come to love those guys, but at the moment I'm like, yeah, you beat the
Oh, no,
shit out
they're
of these
awful there. Yeah.
No, but right there, they deserved it.
Oh,
Absolutely.
At that point, they were Orochi,
Yeah.
and then not too long later, there was like, okay, they're good
And
guys.
then Usopp comes back with this argument after they just done all of that shit, and it's like, fucking Usopp, shut your mouth, man.
So just to
God.
take that what I say there, I don't think there is a single wasted panel second of any of the storytelling in Water 7. I think there are a couple of small things in Enies Lobby
that kind of have fallen by the wayside. You have the whole Daruki system, which obviously was kind of this introduced thing for like power scalers, and like that's not a problem. It just was something that kind of fell by the way. It died out really quick after this arc, and
I think it was literally just used to say who are the strongest
of the CP9.
Yeah,
but
which
again,
I think we
later we
could've,
don't do that. We just have commanders and
I
things.
think we could have also just kind of guessed that based on the.
To be fair, it wasn't like a pirate group where we know who's the strongest in pirate groups. This was a CP9 agency. Are they all on the same level?
Yeah.
Or where are they?
And that's not to say I don't love Enies Lobby.
I can forgive
if you had asked me this a year or 2 years ago, I would have probably put Enies Lobby as the upper of the two. But I just think after doing a lot more listening to other opinions and then just kind of rechecking it out myself, I just think the writing is much more tight in Water 7. That's not to say Enies Lobby has some of my absolute favorite moments. The rooftop gathering of all the Straw Hats at the exact moment that they all need to be there. And then, of course,
saving Robin through and through and through and
so
through.
they can make that flag burn.
Yeah.
Robin say it. I want to hear it from your mouth. I want to live. All those things, and then you go into the fights proper, and the fights are just awesome. Robin backstory. One of the saddest, if not the saddest.
For me, the saddest. I always cry.
Me and Brock, I think, are pretty much in that. Alex, I think it's tied with Brooke, correct?
Brooks is terrible.
Brooks is pretty.
Which was a really nice moment in Wano when they both were like, "These illusions, we know these people."
Yeah, exactly. Robin's backstory, Luffy fighting